Welcome back. In the con job of the day, we have massive, giant, colossal Republican hypocrisy on the debt. As the debate over the debt ceiling heats up, Republicans are trying to deceive Americans about where all that debt actually came from. South Carolina Congressman Mick Mulvaney blamed Democratic policies for getting the country in the red, saying, quote, "It's their debt, make them do it. That's my attitude," referring to raising the debt ceiling. The only problem with that statement is that it is entirely untrue. Republicans are the ones who built the giant deficits, not the Democrats. Bush administration policies like tax cuts for the wealthy, the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and the Medicare prescription drug benefit added more than $3.2 trillion to the debt. Now that's compared to $600 billion worth of stimulus and tax cuts from President Obama. And by the way, that stimulus was made necessary by the gigantic economic crash brought to you by the Republicans. And it's not just Bush. The GOP has been a disaster on this for a long time. The last Democratic president to balance the budget? Bill Clinton. The last Republican? Dwight Eisenhower. I never tire of saying that. They never balanced the budget. Never, ever, ever, ever. Well, since Eisenhower at least. And remember that Clinton left office with a $127 billion surplus. 8 years later, George W. Bush was running a $1.3 trillion deficit. That's the deficit, of course, that the Republicans are now complaining about. Oh, the Democrats. Except for the fact that the Democrats balance the budget and you guys don't. But rewriting history isn't the only part of this con job. Republicans know in order to keep the country on the right track, raising the debt ceiling is inevitable. John Boehner said so in January.
But do you agree with administration officials and other economists that defaulting on the full faith and credit of the United States would be a financial disaster?
That would be a financial disaster, not only for our country, but for the worldwide economy.
So even though Boehner knows raising the ceiling is necessary, he's looking at it as a new opportunity to push the Republican agenda anyway. He told a group of supporters this weekend that there's no way the Republicans will support raising the limit, quote, without something really, really big attached to it, meaning giant spending cuts again. Now, what happened? I thought you didn't want to play politics with the debt ceiling. All of a sudden, you're playing politics with it. So in the end, the GOP causes giant deficits, and then when we have to raise the debt limit to pay for them, they hold the country hostage to further their agenda that got us in the debt in the first place. That's not just the con job of the day. That's been their con job for the last 30 years.